Hi ladies, it's Ashley, and this is about the fourth time I've tried to record this video. Um, the first few times I did it, I'm really glad that I did not upload them because they were pretty negative, which sounds ridiculous because I have my baby. She is 4 weeks and 2 days old today, so this video is coming really late. But we had kind of a rough labor and delivery, and so it's taken a little while to kind of get past it. But I'm really glad that I did not upload the other videos because over the last few days I've just really realized how unimportant it is, really, how she got here. Just that she's here and she's healthy, and I'm healthy, and so the Lord's really just kind of slapped me in the face with that. So she was born March 15th, and so what happened is March 14th at about 1 a.m. I started having contractions, and so I was 10 days late that day. And then by 2 o'clock, 2:30, my water broke. And then by 6 o'clock, we were at the birthing center, and I was having like contractions about every 3 minutes apart, lasting about a minute to a minute and a half, and we really thought we were on our way to have a baby. And so we were going to labor longer at home, but Stephen really wanted to. He just didn't really feel comfortable at the house, so we took off and went to the birthing center, which is totally fine. And we were at the. I don't know if you can hear, but she's like snoring. We were at the birthing center for about 12 hours. And while at the birthing center, I went from a 3 to a 4 in the 12 hours. And the midwife was just feeling really, just didn't feel good that anything was going to be happening at the birthing center, and encouraged me to go to the hospital. And I was really upset because I just kind of thought, what kind of birthing center is this? Why are you encouraging me to go to the hospital? So Stephen and I talked about it, and we decided to stay at the birthing center. We wanted to birth longer. And then my midwife, Nancy, said no. She said that the safest thing would be to go to the hospital, because I think at that time she really thought that it wasn't going to end well. So I was having consistent contractions, and then all of a sudden they just stopped, and they went away. And so we drove to the hospital. We went to a small hospital in my town, outside of my town, actually. The same hospital Stephen was born at, and a couple of my brothers were born at. So we got there and checked in, and on my drive there, I wrote my birthing plan because, of course, I didn't have a birthing plan written. Why would I? I was at a birthing center. Dumb, big mistake, girls. I'm sure most of you guys write birthing plans even at a birthing, at a birth. Where was I? At a birthing center. You probably have a written birth plan, but I didn't. I was dumb. So on the drive over, I wrote just some really key things that I didn't want to have happen. I didn't want an episiotomy. I did not want her to have the Hep B shot. I didn't want the erythromycin cream in her eyes. And I wanted to have her as soon as I had her. I didn't want anyone to take her, and no one was allowed to take her out of the room for anything. Not even Stephen can go with her. You can do everything in the room, and I know that they can do that. So when I got there, I was just so discouraged, and I just really felt like I was kind of angry. And but I was greeted with some of the best nursing staff I've ever witnessed. I gave my birth plan, and they were like, we can do all these things. I think the only thing I had to sign off on, was the erythromycin cream. So we started the process, and they decided to try pressure points to help start my labor back up. And they did that for a little while, and nothing happened. And so I think we were about like 16 hours, about 14 hours in or something like that. And they were like, well, we're going to start you on Pitocin. And I was real excited about that. And so we started on Pitocin, and I went 12 hours on Pitocin without an epidural. They encouraged me to get an epidural because they thought maybe the relaxation would help relax me enough to start labor back up, or to help me dilate, whatever. But I really wanted to go without it, so it was intense. I'm going to be really honest with you, it was awful. The contractions before that were nothing compared to the craziness of Pitocin contractions. And I labored a lot in the bathtub. I labored a lot on the toilet, which I'm telling you is the best place to labor. They tried to get me to get in the bed. They had checked me and then wanted me to stay in the bed, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom and never came back out. I was like, you can come in here and get me. I'm not gonna labor in the bed. That was awful. And at the 12-hour mark of Pitocin without an epidural, I had told them, had I not progressed, I was going to get an epidural for two reasons. One, I wanted to see if possibly I could avoid a C-section by letting my body relax. And two, I would need an epidural anyways with a C-section, so I might as well get it going. So I got an epidural. I got checked at the 12-hour, and I'd made it to, I think, a 4.5. She then told me I was 50% effaced, even though I was 80% effaced earlier. And I'm like, what, am I getting thicker? Like, what's going on? So, hi. Hi, I thought you were sleeping. Hi, I thought you were sleeping. No? No? So, let me just get her situated here. It's really early in the, well, not early in the morning. What am I talking about? It's 9 o'clock in the morning, but she is still sleepy. She slept all night long. I mean, except for like getting up and nursing a few times, but she's still sleeping. Oh, this girl's crazy. So, let's see. They checked me, and I hadn't progressed really at all, and I was just like, get me the epidural now. And I'll tell you this, if you go into a hospital birth, or any birth, and you say you're going to try it without an epidural, you will get an epidural. Unless you go in there saying, I'm not getting an epidural, you'll end up getting one, because as soon as I agreed to doing it, I lost all pain control whatsoever. I mean, or pain management or whatever. I was freaking losing my mind. I'm like, and it only took him like 8 minutes to get into the room, but I thought it was taking about 45. So I got the epidural, and I hated it. It was awful. I did not lay down on the bed, though. I still, after a little while, I still got up and sat in a modified sit position to try to help drop her. In nothing. I went 12 hours on the epidural with Pitocin. And every time the doctor would come in and say, you know, I'm going to be really honest with you, we're really looking at a C-section here. And excuse me, and he kept letting me go and go and go, and it just wasn't going to happen. I was devastated. I mean, Stephen and I, we prayed, and we really believed that my cervix would open, and I think at the most my cervix may have made it to a 6, and I was at 36 hours past my water breaking, and the hospital usually only lets you go 24 hours, and they were making an exception to try to help me get there, and it just wasn't going to happen. I was unconsolable, honestly. I was so upset that I had lost my birth plan, and then all of a sudden, I realized I'm going in for major surgery, and I was freaking out. I was really just crazy. So, they all came in, and we were so lucky. Our birth photographer was allowed to go into the C-section. Praise the Lord. I've only seen one of those pictures, but I think I'm so thrilled because I missed out on everything. I didn't get to see Stephen cut the cord. I didn't get to see him look at her. I didn't get to hold her first. Nothing. Um, so, and a C-section is awful. I don't know, all these people that go in and they want to have a C-section, or they think it'll be easier than natural birth or whatever, but you're basically laying there being crucified, having your arms tied down, and then you play this game of, I'm awake, but I'm having surgery, so can you feel this? And I'm just like, I don't know, can I feel this? You're just crazy. And then they did the surgery, and then she was out, and I was so excited, and I saw her, and she had all this dark hair, and I was like, oh my God, where'd that come from? She doesn't even look like my baby. Um, and then Stephen got to go with her, and he got to spend that time with her, and it took them about 20 minutes from when they took her out to get me back down to the room with her, which was nothing. And then as soon as I was in that room, they were assisting me with breastfeeding. So she was born at on March 15th at 1:01 p.m. and she weighed 8 pounds even and was 21 inches long. So she's a very long girl. She's already 4 weeks and 2 days into it. She's already probably 9.5 pounds, if not heavier. She is a nursing champ. She took to it really right away. My milk did not come in until day 5. What a nightmare. I did not supplement with anything. I just had her I knew that God provided enough for her with my colostrum, but her mouth was so dry and her cry was so weak, and I was so upset. But in the back of my head, I knew I was making the right choice because I knew she was getting what she needed. It's just, she would have liked to have more. And then on day 5, when my milk finally came in, which I could do a whole nother video on breastfeeding, or on what my experience of breastfeeding has been so far, because it was a challenge at first, and but now it's been a breeze. But now she's reaping the benefits of all the work she put in to get the milk here. So I went from a birth center birth to a C-section. Not your ideal situation. However, it wasn't a tragedy. A tragedy would have been her dying, or me dying, or having to have a hysterectomy, or something horrible happening. And it took me until just a couple days ago to really realize that this isn't a tragedy. It just wasn't what we had expected. It's not what we wanted, and we didn't feel like it was the best thing for her. But that's all right. She's here, and we're happy, and we're having the best time ever, and I couldn't be more thankful to have her, honestly. So, but I'm going to wrap this video up because, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to go longer than 15 minutes. I don't know. I don't do videos often, but I just felt like I needed to finally come on here and show that she actually was born. I have a bunch of pictures, obviously. I just have to figure out how to attach them to the video now that I'm not on my phone anymore. Stephen got me did I tell you this last time, that he got me a computer? He got me a MacBook Pro for my push present, which ended up not being a push present because I didn't push her out. And good thing I said no episiotomy, because I didn't have to push her out. But that's all beside the point, I guess. But I guess what I really want to say is that I think a lot of people on YouTube, especially in this group of people, everyone is all natural and everything, and I think that everyone just needs to be really mindful of looking at your other options, not choosing those other options, but knowing what they are, being prepared, knowing what hospital you want to go to, which we didn't know, knowing all their procedures, what's a possibility, and what would happen if you did have a C-section, who's going to take care of you. It was I mean, it was a good week and a half before I could like get out of bed and get her and comfort her. Although she is sleeping in bed with us, so that's not an issue. But I couldn't comfort her, like stand up and comfort her. I couldn't change her diapers at the hospital, nothing. So you just want to be really prepared for all things that could happen, honestly, um, and just go from there. I think that most people will end up with the birth that they wanted, and that's great. And I'm so happy for the people that it ends up great for. But at the same time, there's going to be those situations where it doesn't. And so you just want to. I just hope that people don't get as disappointed with themselves as like I did. It was a terrible 36 hours. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but she's worth every single moment of it. I would do the whole thing again, and I could have labored longer. I was really under control even without the epidural, obviously, without the epidural. I really felt like I could have even labored longer on the Pitocin had I thought I was progressing, but I wasn't. So they call it a failure to progress. Um, and probably in the olden days, had I not had a C-section, if that wasn't available, we would have both died. And I just have to be so thankful to be born in this day and age, and that's an option for us. And we're here, and we're happy. And we really haven't done much. We've just stayed and hung out with her, and I usually look better, at least a little bit better than this. But we did just kind of get out of bed. Steven went skiing today, so it's just the two of us. Um, but she doesn't usually sleep during the day. She usually stays up mostly during the day, and she's like the most alert newborn you would ever see in your life. And then sleeps all night long. Like last night, I think the longest she slept was like 4.5 hours or something, and then woke up and nursed, and then nursed every like hour to 2 hours after that. But we're having a great time, and so maybe I'll do a video on breastfeeding or what she's been like, or I'll try to upload photos. But I just wanted to update you guys and let you know what happened. Wasn't ideal, but she's here, and we're so grateful for her. So hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye.